Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of On the Chalkboard here at bloggingtheboys.com. This is the first episode of the 2014 off-season. We're glad to have you here with us. Today we're going to talk some defense, specifically some coverage concepts, or a coverage concept, that the Cowboys can use to kind of take advantage of their talent a little bit better on the outside in the corners that they have in Brandon Carr and Morris Claiborne, in a way that's similar to some of the things that the Seattle Seahawks are doing with their cornerbacks, specifically the big long guys like Richard Sherman, who have good speed but not great speed, but are very good in a press alignment, playing that sort of coverage, which is very similar to the traits that we see in Brandon Carr and Morris Claiborne. What we have here is a base defense, 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, 2 safeties, and 2 cornerbacks going up against 21 personnel, 2 backs, a tight end, 2 wide receivers. The front that I have this defense here is an under front, so we have the nose tackle to the closed side or the strong side, with the under tackle to the weak side or the open side. I do have us here with a single high with a safety in the box, which is something we see very, very often from the Cowboys, despite their reputation of being a cover 2 team. Under Monty Kiffin and Rod Marinelli, we do see single high a significant majority of the snaps in most normal open field type situations. I do have the corners in a press alignment here, up tight to the ball, up tight to their receiver. And what we're going to look at is something that Seattle's kind of grown pretty famous and pretty well known for running 2 coverages. They basically run cover 1 and they run cover 3. Both of them have a single high safety that drops to the deep middle of the field to play that area. Cover 3 versus cover 1 tells us the story of how many players are deep. So cover 1 guy's deep. Cover 3, we have 3 deep, so we drop the corners deep into deep middle or to deep thirds, with a deep middle third here from the free safety. 3 deep, we have 4 under players between our linebackers and our strong safety. We play our 4 underneath zones with our 3 over the top zones to give us cover 3. The difference there is cover 1, you play man coverage across the board. Each player takes a man. You can bring 5 men in pressure, or you can leave a guy in the middle. You play cover 1 across the board, and that's the difference. One of the things that Seattle's doing that a little bit goes unrecognized and unnoticed is they're doing something special with the guys on the outside. One of the things that teams like to do against press coverage, against press man coverage, to try to get those guys open and away from those corners, is they like to run guys on crossing routes across the field, bring tight ends and running backs out to set picks to give guys freedom across the middle. It's hard for these guys, especially these longer guys who aren't necessarily as fast, to run across the field with these receivers. You got corners who run 4.5, 4.5, and you got wide receivers running just at 4.4, 4.5, 4.5. These guys can have the opportunity to get away from these guys, get leverage on them, and be able to take advantage of those things on the inside. Also allows them to create some traffic in here and free a running back up to come around here on the wheel route, which we at the Cowboys are all too familiar with from games like the San Diego Chargers game this past season. So what we're doing is we're going to pattern match on the outside. So essentially these guys are going to line up in a press alignment. Generally in a cover 3, you'll see a quarterback lined up in what they call off-man depth. So about 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's going to sit here and he's going to bail to his cover 3. Or you'll see him in press, but immediately at the snap, he's going to bail. That's going to kind of be where the difference is here in this defense. What we're going to see from our corners on the outside is they're going to read the release and the stem of these outside receivers, these number 1 receivers on their side, farthest to the outside. So if this guy takes a vertical stem, whether it's outside, whether it's inside, or whether it's straight ahead, if this guy takes a vertical stem, he's going to essentially, this guy becomes a man coverage player. So he's going to run with any route that takes a vertical stem, whether it's an inside break, or whether it's an inside release with an inside break on a dig route or a post route, or it's an outside break for a 9 route or a go, or a comeback route. So either way, in those situations, we're going to play press coverage here, and then we're going to turn and we're going to run. We're going to play just like we would in any other cover 1 situation. The difference comes if these guys run one of those classic man beaters, specifically one of those press man beaters, like those press routes, or those pick routes, excuse me, those pick routes, those short crossing routes, things like that. What we're going to now do is we're still going to play 4 underneath zones on the inside. So we're going to have strong side linebacker, curl to flat, middle linebacker, hook to curl, weak side linebacker, hook to curl, strong safety, curl to flat. So these guys have the same responsibilities they have in cover 3. But now, if this guy takes an underneath release, this corner now becomes a cover 3 player. So he's still going to press him at the line of scrimmage, get your hands on him, play press technique, but then once he releases and releases across his face without going vertical, once he goes that way, he leaves him. He leaves him and he drops. So why is he doing that? He's doing that, A, to keep him from having to run across the field and chase the guy, but B, to put himself in position for something like a wheel route here by the back out of the backfield, or a corner route here by the tight end or the Y there. So what that gives us the ability to do is have guys underneath in the middle who are run and hit type players. Middle linebackers, weak side linebackers, strong side linebackers, who are there to be able to make a play on a guy who's running an inside route. And also it keeps this corner from getting picked off here as he tries to run and chase this route whenever you set up a pick route like Peyton Manning's made a living off of the last couple of years. So what this gives them the ability to do is to be able to protect that cornerback, protect Brandon Carr from having to chase Deshaun Jackson or Pierre Garçon all the way across the field over here to this area for a 5-step drop for a drag route that's going to run all the way across here and hit here. Now you've got a strong safety, a weak side linebacker, and a middle linebacker who are all going to be here to see the quarterback put his foot in the ground, read the play here, and go up and make a tackle without this corner having to run all the way across the field with him. So it allows you to be aggressive on the outside, keep the guys from getting releases, while also protecting yourself over the middle, protecting yourself in the deep middle from the seam routes and the post routes here with your free safety, while still protecting yourself on the outside here. So what happens now if we change the alignment a little bit and we go from having a fullback here and we go to put another tight end here on this side? What happens if you run 2 verticals here on this outside? So this guy does take a vertical release, but now this guy takes a vertical release too. So this is part of a 4 verticals or 2 seams or any sort of those types of concepts that you see all the time in the NFL. What happens in that case? Well, one of the teaching points for this strong safety or this strong side linebacker on this side against a vertical release here is to sink, 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 sink. Because what you want to do is you want to protect yourself here. So he's going to sink deep with this guy and give this free safety a chance. Because a quarterback in this situation, especially if there's a vertical coming from this guy too, he's reading the free safety. So if these guys are able to sink underneath these routes, it really shrinks the window that this free safety has to cover, while this guy is now essentially a man coverage player out here. So by combining these 2 concepts of cover 1 and cover 3 with a pattern matching principle, which are used by great defenses all over football, college and the pros. Nick Saban runs a lot of pattern matching at Alabama out of a single high, single deep, cover 3, cover 1 type look. And Gary Patterson runs it at TCU out of a cover 4 kind of quarters look with 2 safeties and 2 corners. By using these pattern matching principles, you're able to protect yourself against plays that are designed to beat certain defenses while not giving a quarterback an idea pre-snap about what you're doing. If you line up here and off man, he knows this guy's got a free release. So this guy's got a free release to run here, he's got a free release to try to eat up your cushion here and get by you, or he's got the opportunity to run all the routes here without you being on top of him. You put yourself on top of him, get your hands on him, disrupt his release, and disrupt the quarterback's read pre-snap. Because what he's going to think here when he sees you in press is he's going to think man. When you show him man on the outside and play zone on the inside, you really give yourself an opportunity to succeed against these quarterbacks that are trying to gain as much information as they can ahead of time. We thank you for coming to the Chalkboard with us today. We hope you'll join us next time. Come see us at bloggingtheboys.com. Leave us questions and comments down in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you have a great day. We can't wait for the draft and for football season in 2014.